Hotmod Your Guitar in association with Seymour Duncan and Aria Distribution.
It's the first in a series of 3 Hotmod videos about adjusting guitars with bolt-on necks. In this video we're going to be looking at issues to do with adjusting neck tilt to get the optimum action. In the second video we'll be looking at neck alignment so that the strings pass correctly over the neck and you don't end up with typically one of the E strings hanging off the edge as you go further up the neck. And then in the third video we're going to look at the somewhat thornier subject of how to get a replacement neck to fit into a body that was never really designed for it. So we'll actually be cutting into the pocket of the body to accommodate a new neck.
Today we're looking at neck tilt, the most common and easiest adjustment to make. The information in this video is also available in PDF form on the Play Music Pickup website. The PDF also lists the tools you'll need. Although the bridge saddles on Fender guitars give a lot of scope for action adjustment, if the neck angle is incorrect you may not be able to achieve the action you're looking for. Also, if you take the saddles down as low as they will go, you'll usually find that the grub screws stick out a long way, which isn't very comfortable under your wrist. The key to making larger action adjustments on a guitar with a bolt-on neck is to adjust the tilt of the neck itself. On a classic Fender neck, this is achieved by placing a small amount of flat material known as shim under the far end of the neck. You can identify these classic necks by the plate, which has no adjustment hole. The later Fender design has a small hole through the plate. This takes an Allen key that moves the height adjustment bolt up and down. Be sure to slacken off the fixing bolts first, especially at the end of the neck. Otherwise, instead of adjusting the neck angle, you'll just be putting more force on the adjustment mechanism. You may also find it helpful to slacken the strings a little first to reduce tension. The most difficult part of adjusting the classic Fender neck tilt is knowing how thick the shim should be. After all, raising the heel slightly will tilt the neck back a long way. Using a straight edge such as a spirit level will give you some idea of how much tilt is required if there are no strings on the guitar. If there are strings on, another way to gauge the shim thickness required is to slacken the strings and fixing bolts, then tilt the neck back until the action is about right. If you note the amount of movement, you'll have a fair idea how thick the shim should be. Traditionally, the shim is a thin strip of cardwood or plastic. Some guitarists simply throw a plectrum in there. However, this leaves the heel of the neck supported in just 2 places. Over the years, this can cause an upturn to the end of the neck itself, which will eventually need attention. Some repair technicians advocate making a tapered shim from maple, but that's a lot of work to achieve a relatively simple adjustment. Another approach involves the use of successive layers of masking tape to create a sloping shim. As the tape is basically wood pulp, this achieves a similar effect without the need for high-level woodworking skills. Whether this works for you depends to some extent on how thick the shim needs to be. However you go about it, getting the neck angle right is a key part to achieving a playing action you feel comfortable with. Before you start this process though, it's a good idea to check the neck itself to make sure it isn't bowed or warped. For more information, please download the Hotmod Pickup Primer from the Play Music website.